girls have gone missing near the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi. News 18's Alexis Moberger joins us live and reports how several law enforcement agencies are looking for them. Alexis.
Brittany, the two 13-year-old girls went missing hours ago, and we're told they haven't been answering their phones ever since. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office say the girls were last seen around 1 o'clock this afternoon near the Monon High Bridge Trail. Liberty, or Libby German, and Abigail Williams were dropped off by a family member. When she came back to pick them up around the arranged time, they never showed up. The Sheriff's Office was then notified around 5:30 tonight. And right now, several deputies are out looking for the two girls and are even using drones to help locate them. We're also told that DNR is out by the water searching and trying to locate the girls as well. Police are asking for the public's help. If anyone knows anything about where they could be or where they were last seen, they are encouraged to contact the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. We will be following this story and will bring you updates as they become available. Reporting live in Carroll County, Alexis Moberger, News 18.
This is breaking news from Channel 13.
There's still people out looking, but the kid has been scaled back. Let me just put it that way.
After nearly a day of searching, a small town community's hope turns to heartbreak. The search for two missing 13-year-old girls leads police to two bodies.
Here's the latest. Police have not yet identified the bodies as those of Libby German and Abby Williams. The girls disappeared after going hiking yesterday afternoon. But we do know foul play is suspected.
Yeah, we've been in Delphi all night and all day following the search and the investigation. Our crews are talking with the community about their support and their prayers, and to the teen school as they help the girls' classmates and teachers as they wait for more news.
Eyewitness News anchor John Stair joins us live in Carroll County tonight, where a prayer service will start there within the hour. John.
Yeah, that service will begin at about 7 o'clock at the Delphi United Methodist Church. The church is opening its doors to the community for support after what has been a very difficult 24 hours here. And I want to show you the area that we're talking about where the search took place today. Drone Cam 13 flew over the rural area where 13-year-old Abby Williams and Libby German went missing yesterday afternoon. They were last seen near an abandoned railroad bridge and where family members say they had gone hiking. Eyewitness News reporter Rich Van Wyk joins me now here with what happened in the hours after they vanished and what police were saying about all of this tonight.
John, this was the search center. This is where they coordinated a search involving hundreds of people, perhaps the entire community in some way. They started out with lots of hope. It ended with tears this afternoon. About 200 volunteers. They work with firemen, volunteer firemen, police officers, and others searching a 20-square-mile area of the county. They concentrated on the last known whereabouts of the teenagers. A Snapchat picture posted early yesterday afternoon put the pair on that abandoned Monon Tall Bridge. About 24 hours later, searchers found two bodies about 3/4 of a mile upstream from that bridge. They were along the banks of the Deer Creek in a remote area most hikers and walkers wouldn't go into.
We are investigating this as a crime scene. We suspect foul play. We have not made positive identification of the two bodies.
It's been a long several hours. It's played tremendously on the emotions of the community.
Police aren't releasing the gender of the victims. However, the search for the two missing teens, although not officially called off, has been significantly scaled back. Delphi County and state police are working on this, John. They're getting help from the FBI. They're at the crime scene. They'll be focusing on that through the night. We await tomorrow morning's autopsy report to perhaps confirm identities and learn more about this mystery that's beginning to haunt this community.
Yeah, around 40 law enforcement personnel out there, and you know when kids are involved, it's awfully tough.
People take it personally.
All right, thank you. Rich Van Wyk tonight.
Breaking news from Channel 13 Eyewitness.
We have nobody in custody at this time. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, there is somebody out there that did this horrendous crime, and we're going to track them down.
As state police talking about the fear and concern in a small town community after they announced that two missing girls were in fact victims of murder.
Investigators solemnly identified the two bodies found in Carroll County as 13-year-olds Libby German and Abby Williams. Now, we still don't know what happened to them after they disappeared during an afternoon hiking trip.
Eyewitness News reporter Rich Van Wyk begins our team coverage tonight. First, with an update on the investigation. Rich?
And Marie, the autopsies confirmed identities, but how these children were killed, the circumstances surrounding their death, police aren't talking about that. They say they don't want to say anything that could jeopardize this double homicide investigation. For the second day, local, state, and federal investigators scoured over the crime scene. Early afternoon, divers joined the search for clues that could lead detectives to the girl's killer. The autopsies confirmed what everyone, including the teens' families, suspected and feared.
I think they were in pretty much belief that it was their children. But when you hear it from an official, it's still a little it hits home twice.
One of the hundreds of volunteer searchers found the bodies of Libby German and Abby Williams in a wooded area near Deer Creek. It is an area accessible only by foot or on horse. Well off the popular trails, the 13-year-olds were hiking. Dozens of police are now checking hundreds of leads.
We are using resources from all the way from Lowell, Fort Wayne, and the southern part of the state's police, state troopers. We will stay on the job until it is done.
Police say they have no suspects or persons of interest. They're asking anyone who was in the hiking area, who saw something or heard something, or took any pictures, contact them.
Should people in this community be concerned about someone running around targeting kids?
My response is no. I feel safe for this community.
Libby and Abby, teens teachers describe as happy and go-lucky, attended DELPHI's middle school. Crisis teams were ready for students and teachers when they arrived at all the district schools.
They're just asking those questions right now of, oh my gosh, it hit me, and somebody's there for them.
The double homicide has prompted one of the largest investigations some officers say they've ever been part of.
So as far as I'm concerned, yes, there is somebody out there that did this horrendous crime, and we're going to track them down.
Also, police say there is someone out there who probably saw something, was on the trails, was driving that part of the country just east of Delphi. They may have seen someone, they may have seen a car that perhaps looked out of place, and that's why police want that person to call them. Back to you.
This is a small town up there in Carroll County, and still distraught over the loss of two of their own.
In fact, Eyewitness News reporter Emily Longnecker tonight continues our team coverage in Delphi with how people there continue to cope with the loss of Abby and Libby. Emily?
John and Andrea, people here in Delphi are cautious tonight about saying too much of anything. Many of them knew these two young girls and they know their families, and they are just finding it still very difficult to talk about what happened. On the outskirts of town, though, where police found the two teens' bodies, people are talking, sharing their disbelief and anger. Against the beauty of the sunshine and bright blue skies Wednesday, it was still hard for Ron Logan to believe the violence
From Indiana's news leader,
Eyewitness News Night Beat starts now.
Take a good look at this man. He is the person police are looking to get information from in the murder of 2 teenage girls in Delphi. Right now, police are not saying he's a suspect or even a person of interest, but they do want to talk with him.
They say he was on the same trail around the same time as Libby German and Abby Williams. Police are hoping this man has any information that could lead to an arrest. But tonight, the community is still in shock.
I'm just worried that it would happen again.
And this is what we know tonight. Someone murdered 13-year-olds Libby and Abby. People searching for them found their bodies less than 24 hours after they disappeared.
And now police are working around the clock to find out who's responsible. Our crews have been in Delphi today within hours of the search beginning, and they have stayed there as this tragedy continues to unfold.
Eyewitness News reporter David McNally is in Carroll County tonight with more on the person police are trying to track down. Dave?
Police say that they need your help. They are hoping that if someone recognizes that photo, they will call in to police because this could be a major development in the case. Call in even if you want to remain anonymous. Here's the image police want the public to see. Not calling him a person of interest, but someone police want to talk to because he was on the same trail as the murdered teenagers at about the same time. Look like anybody that you've seen in the area living close to the trail?
No.
Same question police have been asking. We saw them up and down country roads near the historic bridge and trail the 2 13-year-olds were walking around the time they were murdered Monday afternoon.
Just wanting to know if you'd seen any strange people, you know. Maybe that's where I seen it.
Police not only want to find out who this man is and whether he was seen near the girls Monday afternoon, police also want to talk to anybody who parked in the High Bridge Trailhead parking lot between 1 and 5 p.m. Monday. It's critical they call police.
We're going to get to the bottom of this. We feel confident, and we're going to do everything we can within our resources to reach justice in this situation.
The Carroll County Sheriff, after autopsies, confirmed the identities of the 2 13-year-olds, Libby German and Abby Williams. But to protect the investigation, police not yet releasing the cause of death or whether the girls died in the same way.
Did you recover either of their cell phones at the scene?
We cannot comment on that right now.
At least one of the victims had a cell phone and posted photos to social media before she died. It's unclear if this picture was taken by the girls.
There went like, I don't know.
A couple more police officers going by?
They've been pretty much blocking the road all day and keep people out of there.
So if you have information on that man in the photo, or if you were parked at the Trailhead parking lot between 1 and 5 on Monday, call the police. At the web version of this story at WTHR.com, we list all those numbers for you to call. Back to you, John and Andrew.
The image that you see there of the suspect, that came from Liberty's phone. I think many of you had speculated that before. We weren't prepared to discuss that at the time. We have more video. We're not releasing it. It's germane to our investigation. And it's important that we spread that person's voice far and wide for somebody that will recognize who that is and will call us and tell us. I also want to tell you that there will be a tip line. There's an email tip line. I'll spell it out for you, and it'll be on the website later, but if you want to copy this down, tips can be emailed to ABBYANDLIBBYTIP at CACOSHRF.com. So that is Abby and Libby Tip at CACOSHRF.com. Phone number, email, call the Delphi Police, call the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, call the state police. Help us to capture the person responsible for these murders.
This is breaking news from Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
Why Abby? Why Delphi? Why Carroll County?
Investigators today are speaking out about the unsolved double homicide in Delphi, and there are new startling developments. It turns out one of the victims took this picture of a suspect and captured his voice before she was murdered. Listen carefully to this brief audio recording. Do you recognize this voice? Police say that's the voice of a suspect saying 3 words, down the hill. We're going to play that audio again in a moment in hopes that you may recognize it and help solve this double homicide. We want to begin, though, with the stunning developments out of Carroll County today. We've got Matt McCutcheon beginning our coverage in Delphi after police brought us this startling information. Matt?
Good afternoon, Scott. By far the biggest development out of this half-hour press conference is the release of that 3-word audio recording that came out today. And we're also learning the heartbreaking development that 14-year-old Libby German knew something wasn't quite right, got her phone out, snapped both the picture of the suspect and that recording of the audio that could also be of the suspect as well. That's part of what we're learning here today. Police say they still have not been able to positively identify this suspect, his name or his whereabouts, his location, but they continue working over hundreds of leads. In fact, they say they estimate they receive about a dozen calls to their anonymous tip line each hour, and they're not just joined by local, state, county police, but the FBI. Today we learned that a team of nearly 24 FBI agents are also joining in the search to help them on any leads that they receive going all around Delphi and surrounding communities trying to find that suspect. There is also a concern that that suspect may have somehow changed his appearance, so that's also why they're releasing that audio recording. Today at this press conference, you really got a feel for the emotional toll this is taking not just on this community, but on the investigators, while they also released a stern message to that suspect.
And I would suggest to you that every time something like this happens, a little piece of us dies as well. We must keep our resolve for Libby and Abby, for this community, and frankly, to ensure that good trumps evil. As poor as this picture is, somebody knows. And if you're watching, we'll find you.
That last sentence you heard right there from the superintendent of the Indiana State Police, we will find you, going out to that suspect because police are confident they will be able to make an arrest quickly in this case. We also learned that as a part of the help by the FBI, they will be circulating his image on billboards, not just here locally, not just across the state of Indiana or even the Midwest, but they say all across the country as they intensify their efforts to try to find that suspect. We're also learning there is a cash reward. Right now, there's about $40,000 available in a cash reward for information leading to an arrest in this case. That's as community agencies, businesses, and people all across this area continue to support the fund to help bring an arrest in this case, Scott.
I think it's amazing for a lot of our viewers to think about this young teen girl who was able to capture the video of this suspect, this picture that we've been showing for days, and now this audio recording. And even though we just got a snippet of it today, Matt, are there any additional recordings or video?
Police say that there is additional recording. There are additional recordings on that cell phone from Libby German that they were able to recover, but we don't know what that is. They're not releasing that right now because they say it's crucial to their investigation. They don't want to give out too much information. Take, for example, the fact that we still don't know how those girls died. Police are not releasing that because they don't want to release too much information that may give their hand to the case. For example, someone who knows something may talk about details that aren't yet known. Police will be able to trip them up and then hopefully lead to an arrest. So there is more information that police have that they aren't releasing just now, all while that search continues with many agencies working to make an arrest.
All right, man, thanks for your coverage today at noon, and we want you to hear that audio recording again. State police say that Libby German used her cell phone to record this voice before she was killed. Again, listen carefully. Again, that's a loop of a voice saying down the hill. They've got this audio loop, and that's the reason that you do hear it several times. Now, if you want to listen to that audio recording again, or take another look at the suspect's picture, or learn more about this case, we've got it all for you right now on WTHR.com. You can also open up the WTHR app.
A sketch of the man they say is responsible for the murder of Abby Williams and Libby German. Our Call 6 team broke this story on Good Morning Indiana, and now our team is in Delphi gathering the latest information. Call 6 Investigates Paris Lubell is live in Delphi, where a state police press conference just wrapped up moments ago. Paris, what can you tell us?
That's right, Lauren. We're here in the Delphi Command Center. That's where the investigation and all the investigators are working out of. And just in the last hour or so, police have released this picture. It's a composite sketch of who they say is the prime suspect in Abby and Libby's murders. Now, investigators say look at the face specifically and don't focus at the hat, as it might not be accurate. Police describe the man as a white male between 5'6" and 5'10", weighing from 180 to 220 pounds with reddish-brown hair. Now, the hat is not what the suspect was wearing. It was only added by the artist. It's the third piece of evidence ever released by investigators. The first was 2 pictures taken from a video recorded on Libby's cell phone. Then an audio clip of the suspect from that same video was released. Now, our sources say they were able to get this composite from different people they've talked to in parts of this investigation, different tips that they've received. We'll give you a chance to look at that picture one more time. Police are saying if you know who that person is, any information about them, make sure to call police. Now, we did talk to police just a little while ago. Here's what they had to say.
It's not something that we did overnight. This has taken a while to put together. No, we're still getting anywhere from 5 to 10 tips a day. We're still getting emails, so it's not something that is just... This case is not dried up. It's not a cold case. This case is still very active.
And that was Call 6 Investigates Paris Lubell.
Paris, Sergeant Kim Riley from State Police saying...
Go ahead, Paris.
Lauren, as you said, State Police saying this is definitely not a cold case. They're talking to us just a few minutes ago. They are getting 5 to 10 tips a day, but they do have a lot of extra people here because they do expect an influx of tips. So a lot more information coming. We'll have a lot more coming up on the news at 5 and 6.
Paris, thank you for that information. Again, we just got that new sketch released this midday hour. So if you have any information, especially after seeing that sketch, go ahead and call this hotline to help find the killer of Abby and Libby. That number's on your screen right now. It's 844-459-5786. Again, 844-459-5786. That number's on your RTV6 app and also on the IndyChannel.com. Todd.
Wasn't sure quite what to expect when I walked out, but I got to say to the Delphi community, how grateful I am. You inspire people that you don't even understand, and you don't even understand why. Information is being released today is the result of literally thousands and thousands of hours of extraordinary investigative efforts by Delphi, Carroll County, the FBI, the Indiana State Police, and countless other agencies. This community surrounded us some 26 months ago, and you did everything you could to support us, but most importantly, you surrounded the family of these 2 little girls. Gosh, I'll never forget it. After you hear what we're going to release today, I'm going to ask for your continued support, your continued understanding, your empathy and compassion as we move forward to find out who did this, and we will. We're seeking the public's help to identify the driver of a vehicle that was parked at the old CPS DCS welfare building in the city of Delphi that was abandoned on the east side of County Road 300 North, next to the Hoosier Heartland Highway, between the hours of noon to 5 on February 14th, 2017. If you were parked there or know who was parked there, please contact the officers at the command post at the Delphi City Building. We are releasing additional portions of the audio recording from that day. Please keep in mind, the person talking is one person and is the person on the bridge with the girls. This is not two different people speaking. Please listen to it very, very carefully. We are also releasing video recovered from Libby's phone. This video has never before been previously released. The video shows a suspect walking on the bridge. When you see the video, watch the person's mannerisms as they walk. Watch the mannerisms as he walks. Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone that you might know? Remember, he is walking on the former railroad bridge. Because of the deteriorated condition of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally due to the spacing between the ties. During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today. The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly, is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age. Directly to the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight. For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We likely have interviewed you, or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will. A question to you. What will those closest to you think of when they find out that you brutally murdered two little girls? 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing. We are confident that you have told someone what you have done. Or at the very least, they know, because of how different you are since the murders. We try so hard to understand how a person could do something like this to two children. I recently watched a movie called The Shack. And there's also a book that talks so well about evil, about death, and about eternity. To the murderer, I believe you had just a little bit of a conscience left. And I can assure you that how you left them in that woods is not what they're experiencing today. To the family, I hope that you all will give them some time to because we're going to be asking that there's no media inquiry or no media response for at least the next 2 weeks, and I hope you understand why. The family found out about this information this morning. I just want the family to know that when I take my last breath on this earth, I'll be thinking of them. There's going to be a tremendous amount of questions. I know that. I know that. Never in my career have I stood in front of something like this. Please be patient with us. Please. We're just beginning. We are just now beginning. And I can tell you on behalf of the sheriff and the police chief, so many other partners that have stood with us over this period of time, that we will not stop.
I just unveiled the person that we believe responsible for the murder of these two little girls. I invite media to take a look at that now. We're also going to show you a video not previously released that the superintendent spoke to, and also the audio that's additional to what's been previously released. There's only a slight change in it. So give Sergeant Riley just a second as he gets that up and ready.